Right, I think I'm live.
Not yet.
Yeah, it says I'm live. Hi everybody. I can see the people coming on. That's really prompt. Lovely to see everybody. I think this is now becoming my Thursday night highlight. Can you all hear me? Increase the volume fully up. Yeah. Hello. Hi guys. Hi Sarah. I heard you're taking the cheats way out and using ready-made dough. Hi Dawn. We'll wait for a few more people to join, but what I'll do is I'll start talking a little bit about spices and what we are going to be cooking. So the first thing is we're going to be making egg rolls today, and egg rolls, for those of friends who've come to our house and there's been nothing to eat, you've always gone home with egg rolls, or you've had egg rolls for lunch with a drink. It's the easy go-to, and if you know how to make parathas, you could pretty much put anything in it. We are putting eggs today, but if you've got leftover chicken, potatoes, anything cooked in the fridge, we can use all of that. But if you're feeling even more lazy, you can use ready-made tortillas. And that's there. Don't use naan because naan's too thick, but anything fine like tortillas is perfect. Otherwise, I'll teach you how to make parathas, and once you know how to make parathas, it's perfect to use with pretty much anything that's there, including sugar, Nutella, anything. Okay. While we wait for a few more people to join, let me talk a little bit about the spices that we're going to be using. And you should be having the spice box. Mine's grey, yours should probably be. The only spice that we're going to be using from this is the chicken masala, the chili masala. If you don't have chili masala, there's no problem. We can just use normal chilies. Because this is there, I know that you can control the taste, but again, this is literally the only thing which we're using from the spice kit today. I'll go through the list of ingredients. I haven't printed off my sheet, but there are just a few things that we need. And again, this is mix and match, pretty much what you've got in your fridge. The two sauces that we're going to be using, one is tomato ketchup, and the other one, which I'm using, is a chili sauce. So it is a ching. Yeah, come back on again. So it says there's a green chili sauce. Okay. So okay. It says a Ching's chili sauce, and it says green, and it's a sort of a muddy kind of green, as you can see. It's not really green, but it's fabulous because it's got vinegar and it's got that tartness that you need. But it's not very hot, and I'm a wuss with chilies. If you don't get this available at any Asian shop, just use normal green chilies or use Nando's garlic chili sauce or a spicy chili sauce. Doesn't matter if you just want that little bit of heat. Apart from that, what I've got here is cucumber, which I've grated, carrots, which I've grated, onions, very finely sliced, coriander, leaves chopped up, and then I've got 3 eggs here, which we're going to use. So the first thing which we need to do is to make the salsa that we're going to use for the parathas or for the rolls. And then I've got my flour here. It's just normal white flour. If you're going to use self-raising, there's no problem. You need a little bit of oil for shortening. I've got some hot water here, so just put the kettle on when we make the dough. And for those of you, if you come from a family like ours, where if I say I'm serving egg rolls and there's nothing else apart from egg, there's yowls of protest. So what I have got is I've got some chicken sheikh kebabs, which are just ready-made sheikh kebabs, but you can have sausages, you can have leftover chicken, boiled potatoes, whatever, if you want to put some meat into it. But otherwise, eggs are absolutely fabulous as well. So you've got that, and then we're going to start. So the first thing we'll do is we will first make the salsa, because we want that to actually no, sorry, I tell a lie. We're going to first make this because we want this to rest a little bit. Then we'll make the salsa, and then we'll start rolling out the parathas. So hopefully everybody is ready and you've got all your ingredients. Perfect. Okay. Take your flour. I've got about 2 cups of flour in here. Reserve a little bit of flour in case you needed to roll it. The first thing we do is put some shortening in it. You could put ghee, that's what they put in India, but I've just got some vegetable oil, normal vegetable oil here. And we shall put, let me move this out of the way so you can see all of that. And I'm going to put about a good 3 teaspoons of oil in it. Not too much because you don't want biscuits. So if you put too much shortening, it will turn out very crisp. And a pinch of salt, just a teeny pinch of salt in there. You can do this in the food processor but because I want to show you, I'm going to do it by hand. And then I've got hot water in this flask here. It's not boiling water, but it's just hot. It's like less than what you would have for tea. So it's drinkable hot water or warm water. And again, like we did with the chapatis, what you don't want is you don't want to put too much water in it, so you end up with a puddle, because then you have to keep on adding more and more flour to it, and then you end up with a lot more than you actually require. So let's start off by putting about 3 tablespoons in there. And you've got to eyeball this, guys, because it depends on how much flour you've got, how much you're using. Once again, I'm just going to put the volume off on this so that in case the telephone call comes. Right. And then I'm just trying to bring it, so you bring it together. Everyone is used to making dough. It's just got to be a very soft dough, not sticky, easy to roll, and it needs to have some oil in it, which we'll again put at the end. So I'm putting another 2 tablespoons in there. So I'd like you all to start making your dough. And start putting it in the middle and bring it in. No eggs or anything required in the dough. This is just a plain, normal, white flour and water dough with a little bit of shortening and a little bit of salt. If you've got a food processor, you're used to making dough, it's much quicker because I want you to just show it here. Normally I would have just put it into Thermomix and got dough at the end of 2 minutes. And this is where you've got to be a little bit patient. So don't, as I said, don't bung all your water in and make it into a puddle. Yeah? Bringing that in. So how's everybody feeling about the extended lockdown? I go through these ups and downs these days, and some days I just think that I'll forget how it is to go back to normal, and once all the shops open, I'll probably feel terrified of going back to the shops, which might be a good thing. It'll probably save the bank balance, but we'll go. Mine's still not, so I'm going to put more water in.
Did you put ghee as a shortening?
No, I just put normal vegetable oil. You can put ghee if you want, but you can I just put sunflower oil for the moment. You could put ghee, in India when they make parathas, especially if you go to the most fabulous old Delhi places where they make these amazing parathas, they put ghee. And the egg rolls have, once I counted, Myra and I went to a place in Delhi and they were making egg rolls, and we counted, they put about 250 grams of and a milliliter of oil in each of the parathas. Okay, I'm going to use my hands now because I think this is starting to come together. And then I'll start bringing it together. It needs to be a very soft, pliable dough. And again, I probably need a little bit more water, but I first need to bring chapati flour, because chapati flour by its very nature is a lot rougher, so it needs a little bit more strength. But this is a very soft flour, very easy to use because it doesn't have very much fiber, and consequently it's not as healthy as chapati flour, but hey ho, who cares? It's a Thursday night, we're in lockdown, and parathas we should have. We've got to work, so I've got it all together. I'm not going to put any more water, but I'm just going to now, it's almost like doing bread by therapeutic, and the idea is you end up with a clean bowl. So I'm just going to work it out. Use the palms of your hand to push it back a little bit and then get this out here. I'm just trying to bring in all the flour which is on the outside of the bowl. So hopefully that's what all of you are doing. Again, this dough is fabulous. Do it once, wrap it up in cling film and keep it in the fridge, and you've got ready-made dough to make parathas. The next day, you can also make the parathas and keep it, but not the whole way. And I'll show you at what stage you keep it. And often when you go into Indian houses, you find that there's a lot of dough already ready, or parathas are half done. This stage is put some oil. I don't know why this connection keeps on going off. So I'm going to put a good, now this is the point where you can put ghee, but it's dough. So I'm just going to keeps on saying poor connection,
No,
but I
you're
keep
okay.
I'm
You're
okay.
okay.
Yeah. So what I've done, so I don't know what's happening. So operating the oil, and you can see it's taking all the stuff up. So it's a bit oily at the moment, but as I work it, it's going to become really nice and soft and pliable, like Play-Doh. I'll do some technical bits to it, so hopefully I'll stop disappearing off the screen. Okay, so that you can see now, clean bowl, oil in that. I don't know whether you can see it, it's slightly greasy. And we've got, I'm going to move this oil out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this light back a little bit because I think that's reflecting everything. Yeah, that might be better. Yeah, I think we're probably back on. So you can now see my dough. Very clean, very soft. It's almost, and my hands are clean. See, there's nothing else. Hands are completely clean. It's very, very soft. It's a stretchy dough.
Can you just recap once again everything that you...
Yeah, I can recap. So I had about 400 grams of flour. I gradually started using hot water, warm water, a little bit of salt, worked it up to get the dough, and I put 2 tablespoons of oil to start with, and then once I got the dough, I put another 2 tablespoons of oil and worked that oil into the finished dough. So what I've got is, so if I touch it, you'll find it's a very, very clean dough. It comes up, and that's how your paratha dough should go. Yeah? And the more shortening you put, as they say, it's khasta. Khasta means it'll become more crispy. But as I said, you don't want biscuits, but you can put, I haven't put very much, but we've put enough, sort of 5 teaspoons of oil, which for me is quite a lot. But if you wanted to put ghee, go ahead and do that as well. Okay? So, that's our dough done. Yeah? Completely clean, clean bowl, clean hands. I don't even need to wash my hands, and that's done. And what we now need to do is to cover it and let it rest for a little while. So hopefully all your dough is ready, everyone's dough is ready. Cover this with a wet cloth or something. I'm just using a plate here to just cover that, and I'm going to put that on the side. So all of you do that. I'll just rinse my hands. It is clean, but I'll just rinse it a bit. And parathas in India are at any time food. You can have them for breakfast, you can have them for lunch, you can have them for dinner, you can stuff them. And this paratha that we've got is perfect for stuffing. You've got roast potato or boiled potatoes, mash it up, or any leftover curry or dried up dal, just put it in the middle, put it in the center, close it, and then roll it out, and you can have stuffed parathas. One of life's greatest pleasures, with a dollop of white butter on it. Okay, so paratha is done, or paratha dough done. The next thing which all of us have to do is to make the salsa filling that we are going to put inside. And again, this is pretty much whatever you want to use. So I've got a bowl in here, and I'm going to put some things in, and depends again whatever you want to put. So I've got carrots in here. It's nice to put a mixture of crunchy and crunchy and different kind of flavors. So I'm not making very many. I'm just going to make 4 parathas. And this you don't make too much of, because what you don't want to is make it and then leave it overnight and the water comes out, the moisture comes out. So pretty much just make it and use it up, and then keep everything separate, and then use it as you make some more when you need, because it's so easy to make. I've got some onions. Again, depends how much. I'm just going to put a little bit of, nice to have the crunch of the onion. So I've got a little bit of onions going into it. Next thing is cucumber. What I've done is I've grated the cucumber, but I had asked you to cut it into sticks, and the reason I did that is you don't want moisture in it. So I'm going to actually not use the liquid in it. You can see I'm leaving the liquid out, and I'm putting the cucumber in, because again, you don't want a soggy mess inside your paratha. And then the next thing is a little bit of chopped coriander leaves. It's like making a salad. You can put anything into it. You can put chickpeas, depends how healthy you want to make it. And then, in terms of spices, you can put salt. We've got our magic chili masala, and I will now put a little bit of chili masala, and literally a teeny bit. Very little. It's almost not even a quarter teaspoon of that. Yeah? And then the ketchup, which is the cheese recipe. So tomato ketchup. Now when you go on the streets of India, they sell these rolls all over India. They sell them every street corner in the evenings, making these rolls.
Put a bit more.
And well, I haven't put any. So if you go there, and the difference between a good egg roll and a bad egg roll is actually the ketchup. The ones that put ketchup are the lower down on the social strata. So no self-respecting person will go and have egg rolls with ketchup in it. But I think they're absolutely fabulous. When we were little, Mum used to say, oh, don't use that because they don't have ketchup, they put pumpkin sauce in it. But ketchup is absolutely fabulous, adds flavor. So I'm going to see, and this bottle of ketchup is, I think, completely sealed, it's not even open. Right, let's open this. And I will now put about 1 tablespoon of ketchup in this. Not very much because you don't want it ketchupy. And the next thing which we've got is our chili sauce. Yeah. And again, you can use garlic sauce, you could use chili garlic sauce, you can use Nando sauce, whatever. But we've got this Ching's fabulous chili sauce which has got vinegar in it. And I've got about nearly a tablespoon of it, and I'm putting that in. You could put mint. Mint is also a really nice, good thing to put in it. So let's put that in. Okay. And then all you do is mix it up. Okay. Let the sauce, if you leave it for a little while, the sauce is, so it should be, the sauce should go nicely over it. You can see it's, let's put this down like this. It's completely blinded me. Can you see, is the light okay? I think that's probably better. Yeah. So you can see I've put that in. Yeah. And so you've got the mixed up, mushed up salsa in here. Taste it. If you find it needs a little bit of salt or it needs some spice or whatever, just add it. But it's just very simple, and the flavors will develop as you leave it. Okay, absolutely fine here. It's got the heat. It's quite nice and tangy. So it's quite a nice tangy salsa. So right, we leave this now aside. Okay. Okay. Next thing we do is we make the egg ready. So I've got 3 eggs in here. So usually you use about 1 per roll, but again in India, if you go, they'll ask you what egg roll do you want? Do you want a double anda roll? Do you want a double sheik roll? So double means obviously double, anda is egg. So sometimes you put 2 eggs into this really thick roll. I usually like to put 1, but I've got 1.5 in here. So just to show you, and we beat up the eggs. And again, chili masala that we've got, you can put some salt, but chili masala here, and a teeny tiny bit, and literally a pinch in that, just a pinch. Yeah. Egg beaten up. So eggs done. Salsa is done, kept that aside, and now we're going to start on the paratha. So hopefully everybody's done that. Okay. Okay, so the parathas, and now we're going to start on the parathas. So take out your rolling pins, or if you've got your marble counters, you can, and I've got my pink rolling pin from Mum, and get your paratha dough out. The first thing you want to do is check your dough. You'll find that it should be like Play-Doh and completely clean. It should not be sticky because it's got oil. If you find it sticking, put some more. If it's too soft, put a little bit more flour into it. But if you find that it's sticking, put a little bit more oil into it. There's no harm. So I've got that. Now this will probably give you 10 parathas. But what I'm going to first do is just make your balls. So it's about the size of a nice golf ball. So first put, and I'll show you what we do. So first do about 4 balls, and we'll make 2, and we'll make 2 rolls, each of us, and then you can carry on doing the other ones. And if you've got spare teenagers or spare kids around, we'll do that. So it's very simple, like making the chapatis, but actually with chapatis you need to have them fluffy. Parathas are a lot more forgiving if your dough is right. And as I said, you can flavor this. You can even just put onions in it and coriander leaves in it and just get flavored parathas. That's also nice. So spices in it. So I've got 4 balls of dough, yeah, which I can put here. And I will keep a little bit of flour. I don't think I will need flour, but what I'll do is I'm just going to grease my hands. So what I'm literally doing is putting a little bit of oil in my hands. I'm just greasing my hands. If you've got any rings, take them off. That's a mistake I made last time, and then I had dough all over my that. And depends. Now there's one way of just taking it and rolling it out, but I'm going to show you a little technique so you get lovely crispy parathas. So what you do is take your paratha and then just roll it for now. If it's sticking, put some flour on it. I'm not even making it, and it's quite, you'll find it's quite fluffy or a bit thick, but that's fine. But roll it out to about 6 inches. Yeah. Don't worry at this stage about getting it nice and round. And then once you've done that, you know, remember we used to make paper fans when we were little. So take that and just fold it up like you're making a paper fan. So lift, fold, lift, fold. It's a bit like how we used to make paper fans. So you've got it like that. You can see. And then crunch it together. So you've got these folds in there. And then take it and then just turn it into a circle. And then tuck the end underneath it. So, and then squish it from the top. So what you can see is you've got this. Yeah, hopefully everybody should have that. And then squish it. So what you've done is you've got some. So I'm going to do that with the other one as well. Putting this here for the moment. You could put layers of flour and oil in the middle, and I can show you with this one if you're feeling fancy, but there's no need also, that's also fine. You could put ghee. And again, I'm rolling this out. And if you go on the streets of India and they make parathas, you'll find that there's someone sitting there making these thousands of these parathas or rotis and just chucking them across. And the next chap catches it and puts it on there. It's an art. And you stand by the side while they make these parathas, and then they give it to you all dripping with oil, and it's fabulous. Okay, so if you want at this point, if you wanted to put oil, you can just take some oil. And I've put some oil, and what you can do if you want is you can layer a little bit of flour in it also. So I'm just literally taking a little bit of flour and putting it in. You don't have to do it, but this is just to show you if you're feeling fancy and chefy. Okay? And then again, concertina up, a bit like making a paper fan. You put the oil layers in there, turn it into a circle. Tuck the bottom edge in and press. Yeah. So I've got 2 like that, as you can see. So we'll make these 2, and then we'll worry about the rest later on. So let's make these 2 because I want to show you how to go on with these parathas. Now you can flour the surface if you want. I can flour a little bit, but not very much because it doesn't need it. It's got oil, and if you've got a nice enough worktop, it's fine. It will work. I've got my little marble thing here, and then just get some flour on it like that, move it, and at any point don't let it stick. So when you're making paratha, this is a technique, as I said before, when someone taught me. If you want a circle, all you do is 1, 2, 3 rolls and give it a 90-degree turn. 1, 2, 3, 90-degree turn. 1, 2, 3, 90-degree turn. Turn it this way again. 1, 2, so that way you can control the shape, and you can see the layers are all now going in, but when you cook them, the layers will be there. So now when you're looking at it, the layers are not really there. And this way, I never get perfectly round parathas, but let's see. And as I said, you can use tortillas, but you know, hey ho, we are in lockdown. It's not that we have anything much to do. Why not make parathas on a Thursday evening? And you can fill these up with anything. You can fill them up with Nutella, sugar. We have chini parathas. The last paratha usually at home is with sugar in it. The sugar all melts and it's lovely and caramelized inside, and that's lovely. So the last one is usually a sweet one, but my one is nowhere near round, but it's okay. Okay. Now if I'm demonstrating, I should have perfect round parathas, but here. I almost made it like a square. That's not an issue as well. So that's the first one. I'm going to put my hob on, and I'd like you all to start putting. So if you've got I've got a flat pan on. So put your pan on and put the hob on so the pan gets warm. So let's just do that. I'm going to put 2 pans on because I want to show you what we do. What you need to put your phone off, please, on silent, otherwise it's very difficult. Okay, so that's the first paratha. And let's roll the second one. Okay, so that's my first paratha, not round, square, but that's okay, we will. And that's my second one, which I will now roll. And again, I'm going to put a little bit of flour, just dusting of flour in there. Yeah. And then let's roll it. And let's hope your parathas are coming out. Have you got any questions coming up?
No, Jack can't see you because of the comments filling up the screen.
Jack can't see me because of the comments. Okay, hold on, Jack. Is that better? You can't see me, but you should be able to see the parathas. Is that better, Jack?
How thick?
Not very thin, so it's got to be, so now you're asking, it's about a couple of millimeters thick. Couple of millimeters, okay? 2-3 millimeters if you want to be precise. But it's got to be thin. It's got to be like a little thicker than a pancake. You don't want thick, stodgy parathas. So you want them to be thin. Not very thin, but thin. And if you've made your dough the size of a golf ball, your paratha should be the size of a small side plate. And that should let you know. And the thing is, it's stretchy dough. So if you stretch it out, it will stretch back a little bit. It will pull. The gluten will pull it, which is no bad thing. So you can go like that and make it so a lot thinner than a thin crust pizza. And again, this is not round, it's square, but I tend to make it round. But that's okay. Let's have square parathas instead. Okay. Second paratha. Okay, so that's got my 2 parathas ready. Has everybody got 2 parathas ready? Because once you do that, I can move the thing and I can show you how we are going to actually first 2 stages the parathas need to cook. So, yeah, okay, everybody's got paratha. Okay, I'm going to now switch the camera, so bear with me a second. Okay, I can't see anything, but can everybody see the hob now?
I'll tell you if I can see the hob.
Okay, tell me if you can see the hob. And you can see the pan on it, heated up. I've got a normal flat pan.
Yeah, your camera is actually too close to the hob, so I'll take it back a bit. Yeah,
is that okay?
That's fine. Yeah, a bit more if you can.
Closer or further?
Further. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, right. My pan's quite hot. And the first thing we do is we cook the parathas dry.
Oil the pan?
No, you don't oil the pan at this point. Okay, so your paratha's going in. There's oil in that, and there's no oil in it. There's oil in the dough. So the paratha's gone in, and you need it to cook. Not a very low heat. The pan's quite hot. Reasonably medium heat. I'm going to try and move this and I'll show you. So it's got a medium heat on it, and it needs to cook. And you can see it will start cooking. It will start changing color. It's got a light in there. Yeah, not a very big light, but yeah, I don't know if that's any better. Is that better?
Yeah, that's fine.
Light okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
why do you mess with the light?
Okay, I just thought that if anybody wants to see the light, but now the light's got
It's
stuck.
good.
Yeah, but I can't let go of this light. Sorry. You need to just move that light switch from there. If you could lift that thing a little bit, thank you. Yeah. That's okay. Yeah, fine. Okay. And you'll see spots. So you can see it's changing color and it's cooking. So it's changing color as you can see. And it's free. Till now there's no oil, nothing on it. There's only oil and a little bit of the dough. And you can see it's changed color. It's become white and it's got very light brown spots. So this is the first stage of cooking the paratha. Don't cook it any more than that, yeah? So that's your first stage. Take it out, I'm going to put it, and I'm going to put the second one on as well. And the idea is that you first dry roast all your parathas. And then, this is the stage in which you can keep it. You can now wrap it. This is perfectly edible. But what you do is you wrap it up and you keep it if you want to use some tomorrow. And then when you're ready, you don't have to go through all the hassle of rolling it. So often what you do is the best thing to roll 10, 15 of them, use a few, and then keep the rest for the next day. So I'm just letting this one cook. Could you just move? No, it's fine. It's all right. Sorry, that's okay, guys. I'm still here. Yeah.
So there's someone who's still got ball-shaped dough, so she needs to roll it out a second time, right?
Yes. So once did she scrunch it up? So I hope you've scrunched it up, made that concertina, turned it into a ball, and pressed it down, and then rolled it out. Yes or no? Talk to me. Okay, so that's the 2 parathas done. I'll make another one right at the end if anybody wants. So yes, so these are my 2 parathas done. You don't want to puff them up like chapatis. As soon as they start puffing up, you're not done. So that's done. Now what we are going to do is our pan's hot, reduce the heat. We've got egg. Keep your beaten egg.
Oil.
And what you need is a spoon. So I'm going to find a tablespoon, hopefully, from somewhere, which was here. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I will use this. Okay, I can use this. It's okay, I've got a little scoop here. So pan's hot, reduce the heat, and the first thing you now do is you put oil, and you put about 1.5 teaspoons of oil. Yeah? And oil the pan with oil. Now I'm using a cast iron pan, non-stick is fine, you can use even less, but you do need a little bit of oil on these people. Okay? And then, this is a 2-step method. So everybody's pan is hot, I hope. What I'll do is I'm going to now take my egg. Now I could pour it, but I'm trying to just control it. So this is about this is about 1 egg, I would say. Yeah. And I'm going to put that egg in there. And while this egg is still soft and cooking and not yet set, you take your paratha and you put it on top of it. So this whole thing should move. I'm going to use this and soak up a little bit of extra oil. Because I did put too much oil, I overestimated the oil. Yeah, this still got enough oil in it. And the oil, this is fluff up, but the egg's cooking, yeah? Press it down a little bit. So you can see it's free, the egg's actually not stuck to it. It's stuck to the paratha. Now make sure the egg's cooked. If you want, even punch 2 holes in it and make sure, because what you don't want is soft egg inside it. Yeah, so the idea is you've got an omelette which is now stuck to this. Turn it over because you want the other side of the paratha to now cook. So this is what it should look like. Now in an ideal world, you should have a circle thing and a circle paratha. My paratha is a square, but that's okay. They taste fabulous, so it's okay. And you've got oil on the other side. Now what you're doing is you're frying it, but not with very much oil. Yeah, so 1 teaspoon should actually be enough, not more than that. Again, in India, you get big. You get the pan. It's as big as the size of the pan. It will probably cook in that. If you've got a smaller frying pan, just cook it in that. It will control the egg as well. So everyone getting, yeah. Now should be having brown spots in the parathas to make sure the paratha is nicely cooked. Now, egg rolls have been served very quickly, but so now we'll just make 2. So that's it. This one's done. Make sure the flour is cooked, the egg is cooked, everything is cooked. You don't really want to brown it too much. I'm going to just put it here for now. And what I'll do is I'll first put this paratha to soak up a little bit of this oil that's there, and then I'll put the egg on top. So it won't be very greasy. Increase the heat a little bit. My heat's come down a bit. So the parathas are thin. You can see you don't want thick parathas that look like duvet. So they've got to be quite thin and crisp or crispy. And because they've got shortening in them, they'll be lovely and crunchy when you bite into it. So it will be layered. And again, as I said, if you don't want to make your own parathas, just use tortillas. Put the egg and stuff, put the tortillas on top, and that's fine as well. Okay, I've taken off this, so I'm going to just take this off and I'm going to first put some egg on it now. So the egg runs away. Yeah. And then put a little bit of oil. Just very little. I'm literally putting a few drops of oil on it. And you can see it doesn't stick to the pan at all. Yeah, so let that cook. You don't want, I'm sort of punching it because I don't want the egg to be soft inside. And just press it down. And then I'm going to flip it the other side and let the other side increase the heat a bit and let that cook a bit. So that's my 2 parathas done. And again, you can put more egg into it. If you want to thicker, you can put a lot more egg into it. Some people, as I said, you can put 2 eggs in it and make it really thick. If you want to put a little bit more oil, this is looking a bit dry. I'm just putting a little bit of oil in there. What the paratha will do is it will soak it up. While this is happening, I'm going to move the camera to the other side, to the table. Okay. Okay guys, so the second paratha is also done. And I've got 2 parathas here, over here. So I've got 2 parathas with egg on them. Now when you're making them, as I said, you can make all the dry parathas and keep it, and then start, when you're ready to serve, start doing this, so that nobody gets soggy cold parathas. Now I asked everybody to have 4 pieces of greaseproof paper, cut to about 6 inches, only to realize that I didn't have any greaseproof paper. So what I've got is I've just got paper napkins, which is not going to look, or kitchen roll, which is not going to look as posh, but it's alright, it will do for now. It'll just to give you the idea. So this is how your greaseproof paper should be. So yours will be a lot nicer than mine. And also remember what I said about not having just eggs. So this is the point when you go into your fridge and you find there's any leftover anything, roast chicken, salami, sausages, potatoes, curry. But we've got chicken sheikh kebabs, which is just chicken on a skewer. It's cooked. And again, it's a great way of using up leftover stuff. So we've got this. And so we are making anda parathas with sheikh kebab in it, and you are making anda parathas, but it doesn't matter, whatever you want to put into it. I'm just trying to find a plate here. Right, now the rolling up, got a plate, that in there, paratha.
Can't see.
Can't see? Okay.
Wait a second. Yeah.
Yeah, paratha. I've just put this in there. In fact, I won't put this. I've literally put a paratha on a plate. The salsa that we've got. So we're going to put it down the middle. Yeah, in a straight line down the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight down the middle. In the middle like that. And then we've got the sheikh kebab, but whatever else you want to put into it, you put into it. So that's what we've got. And then you pretty much just roll it up good old-fashioned way, and then squish it down a bit. And you can see this flaky paratha here, so the sauce is coming through. So you can see it's all flaking, and that's what it should be. So there should be flakes coming off. And then you have the way you do it is, with your greaseproof paper it's going to be easier. But you just roll it up like that, halfway through, and you take the bottom and you actually fold it down like that. So if somebody gets a roll, all they've got is just pick it up, hands don't get dirty, just don't use the paper, you've got to peel the paper as you go. So that's your first roll, and let's just do the second one. So I've got that here, and again we are putting it down the middle. There we go. Now another sheikh kebab down the middle. I'm going to just put this egg inside it, and then we just roll it up. So you've got that. And then if I can find another kitchen towel, hold on a minute. You've got your grease-proof paper. And then again, cover this up. Neat edge on the top, round. And again, you can see when you fold the paratha, it's all flaky and it should be crispy coming off.
People behind you. Okay.
Yeah, and that's again rolled up. So these are my 2 paratha rolls. You can see all rolled up. Yeah, and then what you do is you literally pick it from here and you go. Should get the salsa, should get the ram roll. The paratha will be really crispy, and that's your anda paratha done. Now we've obviously done it with parathas from scratch. If you can be bothered to make the parathas, I'd say do it, because then you get these lovely crispy thin parathas. Otherwise try, as I said, tortillas is also fine. It's a cheats way of doing it, but you can roll the parathas and you can put sugar in it and fold it up and have sugar paratha. You can put Nutella in it, pretty much whatever you want. You can just have the parathas on your own. So that's your anda paratha done, guys. Hopefully you've got all the dough now and you can carry on with the help, and then that's dinner. Have a drink with it, or there's no way that in India we used to have Coke or thumbs up, and you have to have a roll and thumbs up, or Coke or beer. That's tradition. And that's your anda paratha. So I hope you found that useful. That was week 4 of our lockdown cooking. Next week we are doing chicken curry, an almond chicken curry. If you don't want to do chicken, you can use paneer or vegetables. And again, if you don't want to use almonds, if you're allergic to nuts, you could leave it out. All the recipes, the recipe and the ingredient is up there. I'm going to put this on reel so you can watch this and make this up later on. If there are any other questions, please get back to me. But we've now got all the lockdown cookings for the next session for the next 4 weeks. And that should be fun. What we've done for the last 2 sessions, we thought we'd make it a bit special. And we've done cheats cooking. So we use some of our ready meals, and the very organized Becky's got these kits ready. You can just order that, and then we use that and we zhuzh it up. So we are doing stuffed aubergines that we are going to be using our lamb with or our dal with. So it's just a very easy way of using something which is already there, and making dinner sound a little bit spectacular. So I hope you've enjoyed that, guys. Hopefully my speed's been okay, and we'll see you next week at 6 o'clock, same time. Thank you, everybody. Bye.